Hey, it's party time, Mom. You know, I just decided to laugh at Jennings' joke.
It's party time, Mom.
Y'all are assholes.
Welcome to another episode of the Not So Chad Prather Show.
I miss Natalie. It's party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show in the Mothership Studio 22. Thanks for joining us. Go over to YouTube, subscribe, and hit your notification button so that you'll be told every time I post a new video on YouTube. Come on, folks. Help me grow that sucker, man. Censorship is a real deal, and social media is out against us. And I'm telling you, if we don't stick together as conservative voices, it's going to get worse and worse, worser and worser as we get towards the 2020 election, because I promise you, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, whatever you are on and whatever you're using, conservative voices are being more and more stifled. Now, the interesting thing that I found is that a lot of people on the left feel like their voices are being stifled too. That's because political conversation is being brought down to a minimum, and it's the algorithm just has it. So it's just hindering the free speech of things we want to talk about and things we have convictions about. So you're not going to hear a lot of things that you need to hear. That's why I encourage people, go to blazetv.com/humor, use promo code Chad, get on there, because you know what? They can't silence that. Once you sign up, and I mean, we're talking, what, $6, $7 a month to have this, you can get all these political voices that, you know, differing ideas and opinions and concepts and things that you're not going to get anywhere else. And Party Foul Steve, sometimes he's on there too. And
where am I at?
You're nowhere. You're literally nowhere.
Nowhere. Almost never.
Like if you want the political opinions of a moron, then you'll listen to Party Foul Steve. Right. But we want people like Glenn Beck and Pat Gray and Chad Prather and Lauren Chin and Allie Stuckey and Mark Bowling and Andrew Wilkow and Mike Levin.
Are these even real people you're saying?
Yeah, I hate you, and you're going to get fired. That's what's going to happen right now. That's what's going to happen. And, of course, Graham Allen, myself. You know, there's just a lot of stuff going on. So get the Blaze. Get on there. Go do it. And also go to where where podcasts are offered through podcast channels, say like Apple Podcasts. Rate us, review us, give us a 5-star and a lovely review. Tell me how awesome I am. I love it.
You just said all that stuff. So
I love it. Well, sometimes I give myself a review.
Keeping me down. You're holding I can't even speak.
No,
it's
we
like
know
algorithms.
That. Yeah.
Keeping the white man down.
Yeah. Send all your hate mail to steve@watchchad.com.
Do you know what? I've not received any hate mail at steve@watchchad.com. Not one bit.
That's right.
They send it all to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yeah, it shows up.
Yeah.
It shows up.
But the lawsuits are still pending.
It's still pending.
Steve doesn't understand this whole concept of being on a national stage and your words have consequences and things that come back to bite you in the ass.
They probably do, but I'm just like, this is what you get.
I know. Well,
okay. Am I going to change my mind or change my, how I say it?
That's why people love you.
Maybe so. That's probably why they hate me too.
Whatever. You don't. Nobody hates you. You never get.
You think I'm a moron? Crazy. You're hurting my feelings.
It's okay.
It doesn't bother me.
It's okay. I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
For a
think
moron,
you could take it.
see, you're very fortunate because you have a lot of talent, and you're on a, podcast. You're on TV. You're on all that stuff. I have zero talent. And I'm here too. so.
Yeah. Except I pay you.
Yeah, but
I pay you.
So tell me who's.
And then I have. It's like Graham Allen said. He's like, you got all these college degrees. I don't have any, and we're doing the same thing. And I said, yeah, but I also have 12 more businesses. Yeah. So, see how that works.
Yeah. No, I know exactly.
Exactly. But no, you are here. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you every day.
People love you. That's Party Foul Nation, baby.
Potty foul.
Potty foul.
Potty foul.
The Potty foul. Party Foul Nation.
Party Foul Nation.
You know what's coming? PartyFoulNation.com.
They're coming.
partyfoultx.com. By the time this airs, I'm not sure Candice, Queen of the Ethiopians, when this one will come out in a week or two, a couple of weeks. Yeah. We should have partyfoultx.com.
Yep.
Should be out and about. Check it out. It is a community of people who like to have fun, red-blooded, hard-working, blue-collar Americans that fall down, pick themselves up, dust themselves off, blaze that trail, keep that head above water, float down the river, drink their beer, barbecue, have a good time.
That's right. Everything's better with beer.
We have a good time in Party Foul Nation. So check it out. Bougie Sean sitting over there in the peanut gallery. He's a part of Party Foul Nation. Look at him. Oh, yeah. We got to go denim shopping. See, you and I love wearing denim shirts.
We do.
People want to give you a hard time about wearing denim shirts. People, they don't make fun of you because you're black. You get away with everything. Like, people can't make fun of you. But they like, if they see a denim shirt, a lot of times people are like, oh my God, I can't believe, what is it, your 1980s? You're wearing denim shirts. I like denim shirts.
Canadian tuxedo.
There you go.
Exactly.
I like wearing denim, but I need new denim. Like this one is all huge and stretched out and stuff. I need to go get some more denim.
Billy Joe Shaver would be proud of you.
I know, right? So we're going to go get some more denim, Shawnee.
Oh, there's a couple of spots I know. There's a spot in Dallas called Stag.
I don't go to Dallas.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go it for you.
Called Sag. That sounds like
Stag.
expensive denim.
STAG. It's
Stag.
Yeah.
Stag.
Yeah.
Listen, I go to a completely different Stag place in Dallas, okay? Whole other shopping adventure with
you know
that
who
thing.
who likes denim too? Glenn.
Glenn loves denim.
He gets his double RL stuff. I can't. That's out of my price range.
Yeah, I was online the other day looking at some denim stuff. And they had like $850 denim shirts. And I'm like, you think I'm going to order one? Even if I had that kind of junk, if I was banking like that, I'm still not going to order it online. $850 and I hadn't had a chance to try it on.
It might fit, it might not.
Might not,
Yeah.
I bought some new jeans the other day online and they sent them to me and they're a little big, but I'm going to wear them.
Did you set your phone up in front of you and it measures your jean size and stuff?
I didn't know you could do something
They
like that.
have something like that now.
Is that an app?
Yeah. It's
Really?
a store that
It
sells that does
measures
that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I wouldn't use it either, but
No. Do you know how if you're in the store and you don't want to try jeans on, do you know how to determine that they'll fit you in the waist?
Put the leg around your neck.
You put the waist, take your
the
jeans,
waist, yeah,
the
the
belt
waist.
line, the waist, wrap it around your neck.
oh, we're gonna have to test this out.
If it fits around your neck, it'll fit around your waist.
I have a large neck,
Well,
pretty thick neck. That's my waist. That
have you ever seen yourself from the
Seen
side?
your waist?
shut up.
I mean, if you
I've never tried. Can you? That's kind of funny though. You can imagine putting that on your neck and running around the store.
Now, you look a little weird when you're standing in the store and you're wrapping jeans around your neck because there's people who don't know that trick.
Yeah.
But it's accurate. Now, I'm sure there's probably some body types out there, that doesn't work.
Somebody's
gonna
doing
say-
it right now.
I mean,
I was gonna
Jennings
say,
is sitting over there
I'm
going,
awfully sorry to Candace for this, but I'm going to call bull.
it depends. I bet it wouldn't be.
there's a guy at home right now. He's taking his pants off right now just to put them around.
By
his
God,
neck.
I'm gonna go try this.
There's
sucker.
probably lots of people
But
at home
if
taking
you're
their pants
human size, Jennings, like if you're regular human size, then that
Well,
works.
They say that like your middle finger
okay,
here,
let's stop
like
where
the
you're
same
talking
length
about-
as your foot or something.
Okay, yeah, stop. Stop.
Honey, get my Wranglers.
Puppet Master Mark, let me tell you something. This is why the Puppet Master makes his money over here when he's flying the Starship, which is in Studio 22, is Mark knows when things are getting out of hand. He knows how to mute the microphones.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and like there's been times when you've been sitting in the peanut gallery and you're just talking and we just mute it.
I have no doubt about that.
We have to
Nobody
keep the
ever
IQ
hears
of the
us
show
talking.
at a certain level, so sometimes
Well,
I
if
just
you
have
notice,
to
like
cut
Steve
the
in the
mic.
peanut gallery, he'll just get to talking over there and having a conversation with whoever we're sitting by.
Oh, yeah.
And forget that we're having a show here.
Yeah.
Forget
Yeah.
that we're hanging out.
That's usually when I was drinking whiskey or something.
Usually.
Usually.
It's that
Yeah.
predicament. You can have two shows happening at the same time, and I always go with you because you're the host. So I'm like, I guess I'll go to Chad's show right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is on the box.
yeah, it
Until
is.
Jade shows up.
For now.
Then that piece of tape over there with her name on there goes over it. And, of course, the Starship would not be complete without Ned Sanders sitting back there on the back wall. Ned Sanders hanging out. He is the brother of Bernie Sanders. So Ned Sanders, he's the younger brother of Bernie Sanders back there.
Yep.
Hanging out. We got to put some pants on Ned.
Yeah.
Got to put some pants.
His
Hey,
neck
we
out.
also have what's her name? Candace. She's here today too.
Oh, thanks. Now you're hosting the show. That's
Well,
great, man.
You went to Ned. You went from Mark to Ned.
That's because
I like the
we have
recall
a reason
on the name. I like the amount of time it took you to think of my name.
to think of her
because I
name.
was going to do the whole Candice, Queen of the Ethiopians, but that's he's the host, so he should say
No,
that
but
part.
nobody knows now. I mean, you might as well just take over.
We're just doing whatever we want.
There's a reason. There
That's
is a
fine.
rhyme and a reason to this. We get to Candice momentarily.
Okay, I didn't know if you just
Well,
skipped
because
over her to
Candice
get to-
is playing a very crucial role in today's episode.
Oh.
Because this is going to be one where she reads off her topics that we can discuss amongst ourselves.
Oh, so I jumped the gun a little bit.
Yeah, you really shot your wad pretty early on that one. It's good. So we're
not
gonna
unusual.
We're gonna put our heads together, and it's gonna sound like a bowling alley. All right,
let's do
so
it.
we got some good stuff over here. Candace, could you start us off with something easy?
Oh, hold on. That's
Just pull it at random.
okay.
Pull it at random.
Whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other dimensions?
Other dimensions,
Yeah.
like the Marvel universe, that kind of thing, like alternate realities that
Yeah.
are going on
Parallel
at the same time with us.
universes.
No.
Nope. I think so inside our head.
Do you want to elaborate on that one, Steve?
Nope.
What are the...
Are there other dimensions? Again, we get into the whole spiritual aspect of it. Yeah, there are spiritual dimensions. Shakespeare's got the great quote about there, far more things to this earth that we can, feel and see. And what's the quote over there, Jennings? I always mess it up.
You get this wrong every single
Yeah,
time.
no, I do. What's it say?
It is now I'm going to get it wrong. It is something like there are far more.
Yeah, that's very helpful, dude.
Yeah, no, I've now forgotten it too.
know.
It's because I made fun of you.
I always
Good
mess
job,
it up.
gentlemen.
It's a great
Good
quote.
job.
far more things in heaven and on earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio.
There you go.
But it's not things; it's something else.
But that's
that's what it
the
means,
essence
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So is there a spiritual world? Yeah, I believe that. I think there is. I think we are. I think we are eternal beings, and so where does that world exist? Is there God? Is there angels, demons? So yeah, in that regard, I think there's other dimensions. But are there simultaneous, parallel running dimensions where there's other humans out there, other us's?
Nah.
No.
Steve,
hope
going back to the different dimensions in your head that you referenced, would you like to elaborate?
No, well, what I mean, the human mind itself, and we would like to believe that there's something else over there where we're either, hopefully way smarter, way better. I don't know.
So do you guys, this will get the online community talking right here. Let's ask this question, just kind of dovetail off of that. Is religion something created by man to control the masses? Who was it? Karl Marx, who called it the opiate of the masses. Religion was the opiate of the masses. In other words, it keeps people under control. That's what keeps us out of complete and total anarchy, where people just would run amok and do anything they want to do, rape, kill, pillage, and steal. I mean, does religion keep people in check, or is there reality to religion?
I think that's a question that we, even as a believer, we still question that. We go through, and that's where we go through stages of questioning your faith and your beliefs and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of healthy, though, to do that.
Sean?
Yeah. I think if you look at the way the Egyptians ran everything, the way Native Americans ran things, you always had a higher being to kind of keep people under control. Of course.
Yeah. The same with the Catholic Church in the Middle Ages during the Protestant Reformation, whenever they, told people they had to pay their tithes and their offerings and put their money in the church and then stay protected from the gnomes and the witches and the ghosts and the goblins that were out in the woods. And that was actually taught from the church and things like that. So there is that aspect of that. I think that I go back to we're eternal beings. It just doesn't make sense that we're accidents. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, that's like putting a stick of dynamite under a big old pile of building supplies and it blowing up and a house is formed. It just doesn't make sense to me. Just if one minute change to our earthly existence and creation. I mean, if the moon was 300 miles closer to us, we'd be covered in water. I mean, it's just too many things from the I mean, look at a giraffe. The giraffe has a long neck, right? How its heart beats just enough for the blood to get to its brain, not too much or it would kill it, too much blood going to the brain, but it goes all the way up that neck, gives it just enough to survive and to function as a living creature, but it's exactly regulated for that physiology, that anatomy. You look at the bombardier beetle. I mean, if it's an evolved thing, bombardier beetle has 2 different sacs. When those they're completely benign when the liquids are inside those 2 sacs on their body. But whenever they go into a defense mechanism, they excrete both of those fluids out of their body. When they mix together, it comes out like an acid form. If they were evolving, one of those sacs would have evolved faster than the other one. Those chemicals in their body that's produced would have mixed together, and they could not have ever survived. So how do you explain that? That's not accidental. I mean, you look at things like that. It's those mysteries like that make me think we're not just this product of time and slime. I think we're a product of a design, and we're a product of creation. So somebody was a grand architect in the whole thing.
I've heard someone describe it as you can't take all the pieces to a watch and throw them in a clothes dryer and turn it on and ever get a watch.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. So are there alternate realities?
But
are there other?
Yeah, but if that's the case, and then if there is, then there will be other dimensions then outside of just Earth. That's the thing. Like, I don't know how far do we know the universe goes, the solar system goes in a sense. I mean, it's undiscoverable. So there could be other dimensions in that case. Where, what if we aren't the only dimension? Then we were just another accident. This happy accident that just happened, and it happened to be Earth.
Man, I love it on Men in Black. When they shut the locker and then it's just this
marble.
Just a marble.
Yeah, it's marbles.
It's this giant other universe.
It makes you think.
Yeah,
you may never know.
Yeah, I know. But we could just be a little flea on a turd somewhere, some little atom on a.
No, but I truly, if you want to go out that as far as like life somewhere else, yeah, I believe that. So it's way too vast not to be.
That was a dimensions question. You said
I don't know that that's a dimension, though. I don't know that that's another that
would
planet.
exist in the same dimension in which we live.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying in our dimension, I believe there's something else.
I mean, I always like to look at the practical aspect of these discussions. We're not just throwing ideas out there. What is the practicality? Why even ask that question? Well, because if there is another dimension, then there's something that you have to think about, and there's ultimately a responsibility on your life to deal with that. Let's say if there is an eternal dimension, there is a spiritual dimension. You got to come to some kind of reconciliation with that in your own life. What are the ramifications for that? And that's something that people have been dealing with for centuries, millennia. Is what are the ramifications? Again, the Bible says that God has put eternity in our hearts. I mean, that means, from everlasting to everlasting kind of thing. There's something bigger inside of you that exists. So.
So if you're talking spiritual and physical realms, are those different dimensions, or is this all in that same?
I've said this before. Jennings and I have talked about it. I'm a trichotomist in that I think that we're made up of 3 distinct parts. Okay, so I feel like there is body, there is soul, and there is spirit. Your body, of course, is that mobile home. It's the thing carrying your stuff around. It is actually the least big part of you.
In your case, Steve, literally a mobile home.
It's a suitcase you're carrying your stuff
with the
around
wheels
in.
off of it.
The next level, which is bigger than your body level, because let's face it, the body is finite. The body is what it is. It has its narrow dimensions. One day it will pass away. It'll stop working, and then it's going to turn into dirt and dust and whatever. And so, but let's take you. Then you move to the level of the soul. All right, your soul is what I would consider your mind, your will, your emotions, your volition, your ability to make choices. It's a little bit bigger because your mind is expanded bigger. You think bigger than your own physical limitations, which is your body. And then go further than that is your spiritual person. And that goes back to what I believe we were talking about Shakespeare said, because that spirit person inside of you, I think that's that place that you relate to God, because in Genesis, I was listening to Larry the Cable Guy's weekly roundup the other day, and he's always talking about, he's like, because he's talking about climate change, right? And if you're not on, you need to watch it on, he mentioned me on the show the other day, so I'm going to give him a shout out too. If you have Sirius XM, on Fridays, you need to listen to his 3 hours, basically a podcast, but it's on Sirius XM, and they deal with some real issues on there. It's fun, and it's funny, but it's informative. So they're talking about climate change, and he brings some good people on there to talk about it. But he said you either believe in Genesis 1 through 3 or you don't. Okay? If you believe, in essence, he's saying either there's a creator or there's not a creator, because they were talking about climate change and things like that. Well, in Genesis, it says, in Genesis 2, I believe it says that God came walking in the, or Genesis 3, God came walking in the cool of the day to visit with Adam and Eve, okay? Let me back up. It says he breathed into him the breath of life when he became a living being. That breath of life, he became a living being. A kaye nafesh is the Hebrew there. It talks about a lifed soul. So he breathed into his soul, his mind, will, and emotions, life. Okay, he had a body, but then he breathed in him the breath of life, the kaye nefesh. He breathed into his soul. He became a lifed soul. And then it says he would come walking in the cool of the day. Because after they'd sinned and they had hidden themselves, it says that God came to the garden walking in the cool of the day. He was literally coming to relate to them, to commune with them, to disciple them, to mentor them, to teach them. God was interacting with them, but now there was a separation. Why? Because their spirit had been broken. Their spirit had died because of the sin. And so so here it was, their bodies, their souls, all had life. Their spirits had life until they sinned, and then God could that ability to relate to God in the spirit was gone. So guess what? Their spirits died, spiritually speaking. Their souls and their body began to die at the same time. Did they die immediately? No. But their minds became corrupted. Look at men today. Their choices became corrupted. They chased after sin rather than righteousness. Their hearts became corrupted. They thought about they pursued evil rather than goodness. So you see what I'm saying? And then ultimately your body decomposes as well. So that's the way I look at it. That's why I'm a trichotomist. I believe there's three parts to us. There is. So at what level do you relate to that other dimension? I think it's in that spiritual level. There you go. And now we've put everybody to sleep.
There we go.
Sunday school hour on the Chad Prather Show. And I'm drinking whiskey.
That's what Sunday school was always missing.
That would have made, you could have gotten so many more people to Sunday school.
Yeah. The Catholics were doing it right.
They doing the real wine?
Real wine.
Yeah, they did it Jesus style.
I went to church with my wife the first time. They were having bingo night, and they had a keg. I was like, I'm Catholic.
That is historically been one of the biggest problems, besides pedophilia with the Catholic Church, has been alcoholism amongst the priesthood.
Hey, wouldn't doubt it.
Do it.
Yeah. So what else you got, Candace? How does all this stuff always turn into a spiritual discussion?
I know.
I don't know.
I don't know who's driving the ship, Chad.
Mark.
You guys went to dimensions. That's why.
I don't know where Ned Sanders came from back here. He came from some dimension. Got him hanging
Amazon.
out back there.
The dimension of Amazon.
Hey, quick question about that. What if we discover aliens at some point and they are sinless? They haven't fallen. Then what?
Good for them.
Maybe that's why they left here when they got here.
Here's what I'm going to say. Back. Don't move in there because you're going to it all up.
2537.
537.
Yeah. But seriously. So there you go. Don't mess with that, all right? I found one of Metro Jason's shirts at my house, and now I'm concerned.
Whoa.
Metro Jason just came in the studio here. I'm like, whose T-shirt is this in my drawer?
What was it?
And even Jade said, well, it could be either Sean or Jason's. And I'm like, what the hell's going on in my home?
I only wear Snap Pearl shirts. I don't wear
like
T-shirts.
Yeah, Jason, we got to talk. No, seriously, y'all have fun. Whatever keeps mama happy. Whatever keeps mama happy, I'm good with it.
He don't remember because it was dark.
Yeah, exactly. I could hear her over there calling somebody's name. I don't know why she wasn't calling mine. I was finished for 3 minutes. Yeah, gotta go.
Next question.
We got a new bed. How do you like it? Yeah, Jason's been over at the house. Golly. Let me call my wife. Get her on the phone. She's at lunch. She went to a lunch meeting. I'm going to get her on the phone, though. Let's call her up. Let's call Jade. Yeah.
Put her on speakerphone so we can all hear.
We should call my mother. My mother hates when we do that on the podcast.
That'd be great.
I know.
No better time than now.
Where's Jade? Mom. Yep, there she is. Let's call her.
See if she answers. If your mom's going to answer.
No, this is Jade.
You have Jade listed as mom?
Yeah. There's a reason.
Hello?
What are you doing?
I'm having lunch still.
Okay, good. We're podcasting and you're on. So here's what I want to talk about the fact that I just found Jason's T-shirt in our house. And
I told you. I knew it was one of theirs.
One of theirs.
Yeah, see? Just threw Sean under the bus too. But so I was telling him, and so he just walked in the studio and he said, well, why? I said, we got a new bed. How do you like it? He said, well, why do you think I was late?
I probably shouldn't be laughing.
And all I said, as long as Mama's happy, that's all that matters.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You're so bad.
I know. Well, apparently you are. Apparently you are. Have your boyfriends take their clothing home with them, okay?
Maybe you should be not collecting their clothing when you're on the road with them. What are y'all doing on the road with each other?
Whoa.
You know what? What happens on the road stays on the road.
Whoa.
I guess what happens in our bedroom stays in our bedroom.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not, because now we're talking about it to the entire world on the Chad Prather Show.
You are.
Well,
I didn't ask you to call me and talk about it.
You're a dirty woman. You dirty woman. Oh. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
All right. So there you go. There you have it. Everybody thinks Jade's so sweet.
Thank God she didn't answer the phone by saying something like, I just knocked over the bank we talked about this morning. Took an awful risk there, man.
Jade's not. She's risk averse. What else you got, Candice?
Okay. Should we have the right to choose death for ourselves, like assisted suicide?
Yeah.
Or...
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Consensus?
I think it's a slippery slope, but yeah.
At any time during life?
Yeah, not just like if
Not
you're
just if you were
terminally
at the end.
ill or...
Yeah, not just if you were terminally ill. Should there be certain requirements?
That's tough.
Because then you get into mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Let's say one of your loved ones wanted to end their life. They're going to do it. They've made up. I mean, because let's face it, some people talk about it because they don't want to. And some people do things like take a handful of pills and they're hoping to be saved. It's a cry for help. They don't really want to die. I've heard testimony of people who jumped off a bridge, and as soon as they jumped off the bridge, they lived. It didn't kill them. But they jump off the bridge, say the Golden Gate, San Francisco, and they said immediately, as soon as I jumped, I regretted it. I knew I'd made a mistake. But then there's people who are defiantly going to kill themselves. They are going to kill themselves. They've made up their mind, boom, they're going to do it. I would much rather know that someone went and someone administered that to them. Is it right? I don't know. I'm just saying, think about this. I would do that. I'd rather do that than to walk home, walk in the bathroom, and find them hanging from a belt or having blown their brains all over the bathtub.
Yeah, if there was a place that they could go, put some money in a vending machine, get a pill, go lay down, go to their special room, take the pill and lay down.
You've thought this through a lot.
I mean, look.
No, I'm thinking about this on the fly right now.
I mean, I'm thinking through it because I'm like, okay, so what is the deal? Is it morally right? No.
No.
Of course not. Again, we go back to life being precious. Is it morally right? No. So to that degree, I would have a hard time. Like if there was legislation on the table to be able to do that, Candace, I wouldn't agree with it. Because I think it's too slippery of a slope that you get into. And I also worry about, even if it's a person who's sick or ill or old or whatever, I have a problem with that, although I think they should have that choice. It has to be highly regulated. But again, you're asking the government to be involved in your life. And at what point in time do they take over and start saying, okay, we deemed you unworthy of life. Now we got to make room for everybody else and we're going to get rid of you. So now euthanasia becomes a major deal. But at the same time, the compassion side of me says, you know what, screw it. If I got terminal cancer and I got 4 months to live and I don't want to go through. I mean, I had our lunchroom lady back in high school. She was a sweetheart. She was there for years and years and years and years in our high school. Back when my brothers were there, everybody knew her. She always would do all the games, baseball, basketball, football. Everybody loved her. And she got very painful cancer. And she'd seen her husband die with cancer, and she just didn't want to go through that pain, so she shot herself. And it was a sad, sad thing. And, I look at a situation like that, and I think,
There should be an easier way.
Yeah, I wish that there had been something that was more merciful in that regard. But and that's just one story. I've known a lot of people like that.
Don't you think though that people can find I mean, maybe not people who are
not legally
hospice care, but like you could find an easier way or a less messy or tragic way to do it.
I think that when somebody makes up their mind to kill themselves, I think they're so out of their right mind. I don't think that level of logic comes into it.
No, you're probably right.
But then you have you have suicide tourists who travel out of the country to do assisted euthanasia.
Yeah.
And it's people who are, terminally ill. And there was a documentary that I saw, and there's a whole process where they have to actually be healthy enough to be able to drink the concoction themselves on a video camera.
Yeah.
No one
Gotta
can
do
help
a Socrates.
them. No one can help them with the straw. They have to drink it all themselves. And then when they pass away, the company turns over the videotape to the police department.
Well, that's kind of like, Dr. Kevorkian. Didn't he set all his stuff up and then they had to be the ones to push the button or something? Or
well, that's why Oregon, you can do assisted suicide in Oregon. And I mean, I don't know, I saw an article about a girl in the UK. She was a teenager. She was 16 years old and she had mental issues and she had, she went through physical issues as well. But she got to the point where she said, I'm going to kill myself. And she had to go through court. And her parents were like, her mom was like, okay, I know this is bothering you. She was bulimic, and she just had issues, and she had mental issues, and she went through the whole process. And at 16 years old, she says, I'm going to kill myself at this age, at this time. And she went on her last podcast on Instagram and posted like, I'm going saying goodbye to Earth because I don't belong here, and she killed herself. Her mom said, I'm going to miss her, and that was it. But that's it's a point where she wasn't. There was nothing terminally wrong with her. She just felt that she didn't want to live anymore. So she said, okay, I'm going to kill myself. And in the UK, I guess you're allowed to do that. That's where it's a little.
Yeah, there should be no question that it shouldn't be legal for minors.
That's weird there. But a person that's like you said, going through stage 4, do you want to live through that process? I mean, cancer's a beating. I don't have it, thank God. But you don't know what's going to happen to you, and you don't know what that process or the pain is going to go through to live through it. Do you want to live through that pain? Make sure your kids see it. Make sure your family goes through the medical bills. All that. I mean, hey.
Yeah, and we would be remiss if we didn't at this stage in the game, because I know a lot of people watch this podcast. If you have those thoughts, get help. Call a hotline. Talk to somebody. Get the help you need, because it's very real. I get messages almost on the daily of people saying either their life was saved because they watched something that we put out, or they're on their last leg. What do I do? This is just, and so some of those are a cry for help. Some of those are genuine, and I'm just saying you got to get the kind of help that you could get. I'm not the guy that's going to give it to you. I can't. I'm not qualified for that. I'll encourage you, and I'm encouraging you now. And I do the same thing all the time. I said you got to keep your head up. You got to keep moving forward. You got to keep taking those steps, because it's like I've said over and over again. If you feel it like you're at rock bottom, success and failure are both imposters, right? So you could you can lose success, you can lose failure. Same thing. You can beat both of them. One you'd like to keep, one you'd like to get rid of. But you know what? Both of them are just as phony. We've
been very fortunate with the guests we have had on that we're able to, reference, because I get some online messages too sometimes like that, and I'm able to have a reference to send them to.
Well, Studio 22, we have different reasons for calling it Studio 22, but of course we remind ourselves that there are 22 veterans every day that are taking their own lives. These things should not be. We want that zero. And, life is valuable, life's worth things, and that's why I say, should somebody in a certain scenario, should they have that right? It's your life. I tend to think that, I guess that's the libertarian in me that says, but when you start regulating, it gets dangerous. It's a slippery slope. Yep. So, anyway. All right, one more, Candace.
Thanks, Candace, for bringing down the room again.
Yeah, you know what? Wow. You're the reason I drank, Candace.
Can we talk about chicken wings?
Today's Can we do something that's like uplifting and positive? And
You got one, Steve?
No, you take them as they come, Steven.
All right.
Party foul.
Right. Is it possible to live a normal life and never tell a lie? Think about it.
Pass.
Is it possible? No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, a white lie has never hurt anybody. It's, you need.
What's a normal life? That's what I would have to ask.
Wait, what do you mean by a white lie?
I mean, if I tell my kid, like when my kid.
What's your name?
Yes.
Elijah Cummings?
Yes, it is. If my kid says, "Is there candy?" and I say, "No, there's no more candy," I don't need somebody saying, "But there's candy right there."
You're lying to your kid.
Again,
damn
what's
right
a
I lied to
normal
her.
life?
Yeah, could you not say yes, there is, but you can't have it?
That's too much. She's at that age where she's talking back, and I don't like to talk back.
I'm just joking. I lie to my kids all the
Did
time.
Jesus
like that.
live a normal life? He didn't lie.
Did he?
He also didn't have kids.
He wasn't hiding no candy, but he had a bunch of fishermen who were just as childish.
Yeah, probably.
So there was, he had to deal with a bunch of, dirty cussing men. So that was, that's the way that was.
I know people that they're liars by nature.
True.
They just talk and everything.
They can't help but lie.
Yeah, they can't help it.
I know a few people like that too.
Sometimes I think we lie to protect someone else more than we're protecting ourselves.
Could be.
Yeah,
I probably told more lies trying to protect someone else versus telling lies to protect myself.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fun.
All right, next.
That's fun.
That was fun. Let's go.
I love digging into the meat of y'all's psyche here. It's just scary is what it is.
Why is it scary?
It's just because y'all are a bunch of liars.
I got a lie to protect sometimes.
Yeah.
Protect my kids'
justify
teeth.
it.
I
Don't
don't want to get into
justify
diabetes.
it. Okay, well, let's look at it like this. Let's say you're in the middle of the Holocaust, right? And they're exterminating Jews or rounding up Jews, and you're pulling you've got a hidden space underneath, the house, and you're putting them in there, and the Nazis come to the door. Are you harboring Jews here? You lie about it. Is that a lie? Or are you protecting Are you protecting human life? I don't think that's a lie. It's a deception, but it's not. You're protecting human life.
I mean, a beautiful life. He lied to his kid the whole time that he was in the concentration camp to make sure that he didn't realize what he was going through.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you're protecting other people. I mean, there's an element. I don't think that's lying.
yeah, it's not.
I mean, it's an untruth. It's a deceptive thing, but you're doing it for righteous purposes. What, Jennings?
I was just thinking,
You're bubbling over with joy.
You were just talking about the Nazis coming to your door and asking about the Jews, and in my head, I'm hearing Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Like, now are you telling me a lie?
You're telling me
Is this a lie that's coming out of your mouth? That's a terrible Christoph Waltz. I thought I had a good one.
It wasn't bad.
Damn.
Need a little work.
It needs a
wasn't
lot
bad.
of work. It was
Man, leave it up to
awful.
Bougie to bring you down, man.
Sorry.
I guess maybe-
I'm not gonna lie. We
he's
just talked about
speaking
You
the
don't
lying.
want to
He's
lie.
not lying.
Sometimes you need to lie to somebody
thought-
for their
I
self-esteem.
lied
I
about
thought I
that.
had
That
a
was
good
horrible.
Christoph Waltz. It was
It was
terrible.
bad.
If your
I'm helping him
lie
out.
Thanks, Bougie
has
John, I
the
appreciate
purpose to be deceitful or the purpose to hurt someone else,
Okay, so first of all, let's call it whatever the religious term, sin. Okay, there are consequences to sins that we commit, some worse than others. Therefore, some things are worse than others. Murder is going to be way more consequential than a lie. A lie is going to be more consequential than, say, covetousness or pride or gluttony. Now, gluttony has ramifications to you. Pride has ramifications to me, but pride, like I can have pride and it doesn't affect you necessarily. I mean, unless it got rampantly out of control and my vanity is causing you some form of harm, that's that. But you'd still rather deal with that than murder.
yeah.
You'd rather me be prideful and condescending than murder you. You see what I'm saying? So you have to look at that in terms of telling untruths as well. I mean, it's a different deal. It's a different animal altogether because the consequences are righteous in that scenario versus something that's being done to someone's detriment. Got me? Can you live a normal life like that? Depends on the normal. Again, that's why I go back to my original point. How do you define a normal life? What is that? So,
when we embellish stories about a situation or something, like we're not really lying. We're kind of, bolstering a little bit with a little false. Is that lying?
it's embellishment.
The philosopher Immanuel Kant would say so. I think
Immanuel
he lived a
Kant
life
would
with that
definitely
line.
say that. And that embellishment is, a half truth for a whole truth is an untruth.
Yeah, but if I say,
You hear what I said?
Yeah.
Even if you're telling a half truth for a whole truth is an untruth. It's not a truth. It's you can't just tell somebody half of something and leave something back, or even make something bigger, or a bigger idea of the truth for the real truth is an untruth as well. To your point.
yeah,
So, You know, I'm with you, Sean. I'm one of those guys who, I try to be as straightforward as possible with my personal relationships, and it bothers me when I know I'm not. Like sometimes it's like it bothers you.
Brutal honesty.
It's in there,
Yeah.
and so you want to tell the truth, and when you don't tell the truth, or you feel like you're being deceptive, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you do that.
I think if it starts to feel good, or it doesn't bother you, then
you got a problem.
Your problem.
You got a problem. And the worst part of it, and it's a true adage here, and that is if you lie, you got to tell more lies to cover up the lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And how many times we've been caught in that? I mean, now you're living a complete lifestyle of deception. And I'm not talking about pathological liars. I'm talking about you're just covering up with lies. And that eventually that wears on you in a big, big way. So that ain't a normal life.
Nope.
Anyway,
This was
you know what
heavy.
else ain't normal?
What?
You.
Oh, I know I'm not normal.
That's why
I've
keep
never
you
claimed to be
around.
normal.
Stay out of my house, Jason. Damn it. I mean, like, I got cameras, right? Yeah. Oh, boy, have mercy. All right.
Is that what you call it? Feeding Willie.
Feeding Willie. I quit right now. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Yeah, for Ned Sanders, the younger brother of Bernie Sanders, hanging out in the other dimension. Party Fouls, Happy Camper Socks.
Happy camper.
Jennings and Bougie Sean, Metro off the camera Jason, and of course the puppet master Mark sitting over there, and Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians, who's always keeping us in the ethereal realm where we can bring to you our truth, as Oprah would say.
Lies on
Our
lies.
truth. And pretty much a lot of BS.
Yeah.
So I love y'all. God bless. Go to watchchat.com. Check us out on tour. We're coming your way. Hey, come find us in Calgary on the 28th of August. We're going to be in Calgary. Going to stay for a couple of days. Going to hang out up there, enjoy some cooler weather. But
Nice.
tickets are still available, but they're going fast. Sell that sucker out. We'll do 2 shows. How about that? So go to watchchad.com, get the details, and then go to blazetv.com/humor. Use promo code Chad. Sign up for the Blaze and get it year-round. Love y'all. God bless. Talk to you next time. Bye.